Good Monday Matters. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and are looking forward to all the blessings that God has for you at the beginning of this new week. Today is the last day of July. It's hard to imagine we have finished 7 months, just 5 months left. We have less time to go than we've already spent in 2023, and it just goes fast. Yesterday at our church was a fun day. We quarterly, our pastor does Next Gen Sunday, when the next generation leads and directs the service, and it's always fun. It's exciting. It's neat, as was said often in our service yesterday. They are not the church of tomorrow; they're the church of today, and the high school age and even children of the church led the service, and it's just neat. It was fun. It was centered around them. We had a panel that talked about how to communicate better with the next generation, Gen Z and the Alpha generation. It was fun. It was a neat day. So on this Monday Matters, that prompted me to think about how we talk to the next generation, and particularly because this is my Monday Matters, particularly how grandparents can relate to grandchildren. How to be a good grandparent. That's kind of the theme of this today. What do I do to be a good grandparent? Most of you know that I have grandchildren. That's just a joke. If you listen to me talk 5 minutes, sometime in the course of that 5 minutes, a conversation about one of my grandchildren will come up. And it's a joy. I use the old joke a lot. If I'd known grandchildren were so much fun, I just had them. I wouldn't have had kids. I just had grandkids. It's just a blast. But there is a responsibility. There is a need to communicate some things with them, and so there should be an effort to do that well. And so how do we do that? So this is for grandparents relating to your grandchildren, but hopefully you can make application, if you don't have grandchildren, to talk to the younger generation. How do you do that? I'm not going to do it. I started in this little podcast to share some words. We started with a list of words that the high school age, the Gen Z, they use, and kind of did a little quiz with an older group of. We didn't know any of the words. Riz, sleigh, bussin'. I didn't know what any of those things meant. So there's a different language. But we can work beyond that. There's some things that we can do to talk better. So this is Monday Matters, where every Monday we spend just a little bit of time talking about something that makes your life happier, healthier, and perhaps a little bit holier. And today we're talking about how to relate well to our grandkids. 4 things I jotted down in thinking about this. 4 things to remember. Number 1, remember that they are people. They're not pets. They're not possessions. They are people. And they have their own needs. They have their own schedules. They have their own mood swings. They have their own things going on in their life. And so so often I am guilty of relating to a younger generation, particularly to my grandkids, as if they were just pets. And, I pat them on the head and tell them I love them and give them a treat now and then when their parents aren't looking. And but they're people. And so as people, they have particular needs from me and some things that I need to connect with them on. And they have issues and problems and as a sounding board, I can be a valuable resource for them. So remember that they are people, that they have all of the issues that people have, and communicate with them accordingly. Very much along that line, then, remember that they have personalities. They are different. It's a little early to tell about Amos. He just won. But man, John Michael and Jackson, brothers, they are completely different in their personality. And then Caleb comes along, and he is again completely different. John Michael is quiet, reserved, He's very much like his father and like his grandmother, like Doris. Smart, bright, but quiet, soft-spoken. Jackson is loud and rambunctious and fun. Jackson, in many ways, is more like his uncle Jacob. And so they have different personalities. And I cannot try to connect with both of them exactly the same way. So I need to remember that as I'm talking to younger people. Remember that they all have different personalities, and they're not all going to respond in the same way. They don't all appreciate my humor in the same way. Go figure. They have different personalities. And so as I relate to them, I need to relate to them that way. Here's number 3. Remember that they have parents. And that's not me. I am not the parent. I have responsibilities to them. I have obligations to them, but I am not their parent. It's not my job to change the way that they're being raised. If anything, it's my job to support that, to encourage that. Now, if there's something that I think, man, that ought to be done different, I can talk to the parent, but I don't need to talk to the grandchild about that. And to the younger generation, I'm not to condemn their parents or take sides against their parents. Remember that they have parents. And my job as a part of the older generation is to be supportive of those parents, to encourage them and to help them. Here's number 4. Remember that they are the present, not me. The present as in gift. They're the gift, not me. I see so many grandparents, and I perhaps have been guilty of doing that, thinking, you're supposed to love me. You're supposed to honor me. You're supposed to make me feel good. I'm not the gift to them. I'm not God's gift to that younger generation. They're the gift to me, and treat them as such. Honor them and encourage them and love them. And remember that God gave them to me, not the other way around. So remember they're people. Remember that they have personalities. Remember that they have parents. And remember that they are the present. And then here's number 5. Remember that they need prayer. The most important thing that I can do for my grandchildren, for that younger generation, is to pray for them. I have a little more time. I'm a little more used to that. And so pray. The greatest gift I can give my grandchildren is to pray for them daily. And by the way, they know that I do. So that leads me to these 3 things. What, if I'm communicating with them, how am I supposed to communicate? What am I supposed to do? What do they need from me? Here's 3 things that came to my mind this morning as I was preparing about this. I need to provide rituals. I love the Shema, the passage in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 and 5. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one. You love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength. The Shema, that formula that all the people of Israel knew, and that Jesus quoted when asked, what's the greatest commandment? The Shema. But it's followed, verses 6, 7, 8, 9, it's followed by some instructions. Talk to your children about this. Tie them on your phylacteries, on your forehead. Put them in the doorpost. Remember them when you go in and when you come out. There's ritual to this, and I can provide for my grandchildren rituals. They see me reading my Bible at the same time every day. We have prayer when they come around the couch when they come over and stay. At Thanksgiving time, we go around the table and talk about what God has done for us. Early in January, we do a family meeting where we talk about God's blessing on us. Provide ritual, those things that they do. Their parents are busy. Their parents have so much going on. We can help provide those rituals, those places that they connect to God. Number 2, teach righteousness. Teach righteousness. Listen, I want to be perfectly candid. I spent a lot of time reading the Bible. I spent a lot of time praying. I didn't do that when I was younger. I was busy. I had a career. I had children. I was pastoring a church. I was running a counseling center. So in all honesty, when you see, I want to say this to the younger generation, when you see these old people and man, they're close to God and don't think, oh man, they've always been. We haven't always been that way. We struggled when we were younger, but now we're at a place where we can. And so teach that, model that, live that in front of them, what it means to live a righteous and godly life. My grandparents were the most godly people that I know. Well, it's because they were my grandparents. My parents struggled with different things. You will get there. If you're younger, you'll get there someday. For those of us in the older generation, teach righteousness. Take advantage of some of the flexibility that we have in this generation. And then finally talk about remembering. Talk about how important it is to not just the good old days, but about remembering what God has done, how He has worked in your life, what He has provided. Talk often about the miracle. Again, you know this story, but I read a Bible every year for one of my grandchildren, and I write in the margins. I write, remember how God did this for us. Before you were born, God blessed this family. Talk to them about remembering and how important that is. Well, I don't know if that helps you, but it helped me to think through some of those things. I have a great desire to be a person of value to a younger generation. And I do that by remembering that they are people, that they have personalities, that they have parents, that they're the present, that I'm not, and remembering to pray for them. I hope that helps you as you talk to your kids, to your grandkids, to that younger generation. And since I am really, really, really old, I'm talking to you that way. Hope you have a great week. God bless you. Every day I post something about this on Facebook and Instagram. If you like this, would you follow, subscribe? You can go to branchesblog.com and subscribe there. Have a blessed day. I will see you next Monday.